Welcome to day number 13 of Grow Your Own Food Challenge. Today we're looking at my pig setup and my pig enclosure. You saw a little bit of this on the day I talked about mobile infrastructure, but today I want to show you the whole setup. Let's do this. Okay, so these are my pigs. There's 3 of them. There's 2 females and a male, and they're Australia miniature pigs. And I'm over here and they're like, give us some food. So I'll give them a scoop of food, and then they'll quieten down, and then I'll be able to talk to you. So I just use, this is a wheelie bin, an auto bin, whatever you want to call it. And I just put an elastic strap over the top so the wind doesn't blow open. And then in there, I have my feed. I'll give them a scoop of food. Okay, pigs, here we go. There we go. All right. Just do that strap back up so that lid doesn't blow open. All right, so I'll start with the fence. I think you've seen this before. It's 70 or 75 centimeters tall. Your bottom wire does not sit on the ground, so we can easily move that up. This is a 30-meter fence. Okay, so I'll show you the fence here. I've just got the fence up against this side, and there's a gate, and up against this side. I can get the fence to fully surround the enclosure, but I don't really need to. So this is a 30-meter fence, and I think for 3 pigs, it gives them a good size area. I've just moved them this morning. That's where they were, and that's where the coop was, so that's had a little bit more disturbance. But out here, if you look closely, it's had disturbance, but they haven't turned it to dirt. That's what I love about mobile infrastructure. So I have my coop and my 30-meter fence. To power the 30-meter fence, this is an old Energizer. It's probably about 10 years old or more. It's on a slide hammer earth stake. I think you've seen that in some of my previous videos. And then my green wire goes to the earth stake, and my red wire goes to the fence. Let's have a look at the coop itself. It's got a large door on either side that also acts as shade for the pigs, shade and shelter. Underneath the door on each side is a fence. On this side, it's a closed fence, and on the other side, I've built a gate in. So I can actually lock them in here while I move my fences. So I can get easy access into the coop. I've got a door for myself, so I can easily open that up and step through. Inside the coop, it's just got an open floor, so I can put straw down if I find it's a bit too wet. The coop doesn't have any built-in feeders, but like you can see, I just feed the pigs straight out on the ground, and I know a lot of free-range farmers do the same. Inside the coop, it's a bit breezy at the moment, but that's actually an advantage because the doors open up so high. If I get down here at the pigs level, there's a lot of airflow, but there's still plenty of shade, there's still plenty of shelter. So if it's pouring down rain, there's a lot of shelter. Middle of summer, there's a lot of shade and there's a lot of airflow. I said the coop doesn't have any feeders built in, but it does have 2 pig drinkers, pig nipple drinkers. So here they are here. I've just got them attached to the weld mesh. So basically the pig touches that pin there and water streams out. They learn how to use them pretty quickly. There's another one over here. The way I've got the water storage set up is, I'll show you, so bear with me. I hook up an ordinary garden hose to there. That feeds into this T-piece. Inside that drum is a float valve. Let's see if I can show you without dropping the camera in the top. If I drop the camera in the top, you might not see any more videos this month. Here we go. Float valve. Let's explain this. We've worked out a few different ways, well, we've tried to work out a few different ways, and we've failed at a few different ways of doing this water system. And as you can see behind me, there's multiple water drums. We tried to sort of go into one and then the pressure feeds into the other, but we found the drums sort of get bigger and bigger and they're actually holding quite a bit of pressure. So what we've built is float valves into each drum. So let's go back here. So the hose comes from the tap. It goes through this T-piece. So some goes, there's a better shot. So the water's coming from here. Some of it goes into the drum. When this drum is full, that float valve will shut it off. The water continues through this hose. I'll come back here so you can see. Through this hose into the second drum. Same system. It's got a float valve, so some will go into there and some will continue along this hose. Into the third drum, float valve. Some will go in to the drum, some will continue through this hose to the fourth and final drum. So if one fills up faster, it'll just shut off and it'll just direct the water to the last one until they're all filled up. So that's how we fill them. So why I've got the float valves is efficiency. I don't want to turn up to the first drum and then hold the hose into it for like 4 minutes and then it's overflowing, and then get the hose and put in the second drum for 4 minutes and then the next one, and then 15 minutes later I've filled up all the drums. Just by simply doing float valves and a hose, I can just plug it in and I can go do something else and I can come back 12 or 15 minutes later and they're all full. So you've seen how the drums are filled up. Let's follow the pipes and see how 4 drums feed 2 drinkers. Pretty much identical on both sides. So this drum goes straight down this hose to that drinker, so the pig can drink out of there. This particular drum here, the hose comes across here into this T-piece and down. So that drinker, it gets water from this drum, and then through this T-piece, it also gets water from this drum. So that's what I call, they're independent. So let's just say this drinker leaks out. Something bumps it, it breaks, the spring or the seal goes and it leaks out. It'll leak out all of that drum and all of that drum. But it's independent of this one. Same setup. We've got a drum here that goes down to that drinker and that drum here. So it's an independent system. So I like to build these into my farming systems, especially in the heat of summer. I don't have to stress as much because I know that if one drinker fails, it's got a full backup system that's independent. I can still fill them up with one hose, but as the water comes out, it's going into 2 independent systems. If I wanted to build in more insurance, I could actually put 4 drinkers in, so just 1 on each drum. So they're just a few things that go through my mind when I go through a design criteria to build a system. So I hope this has been beneficial to you, actually seeing my pig setup, how I move the pigs, their housing, their fencing, the electric fencing, the energizer and all that. And talking about that, good timing, he's coming for a drink. That's the big boy, and he sort of chews on it a bit and it sort of flows into his mouth. A bit falls on the ground, and I don't mind that, because if he wants to, he can actually get it to leak and he can make himself a bit of a mud puddle underneath. Happy pigs. Gee, a drink, mate. Yeah, don't eat my boot. No, don't eat my boot. Eat, don't eat my boot. They sometimes like to have a bit of a chew on me. Oi, oi. Bit of a wrestle, bit of a rub, don't you, mate? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you tomorrow.